Hi guys, I am Mel from Mel and Milo and now also Olivia. This channel is meant to inform and entertain and maybe put a smile on your face. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe and like and share on your social media so I can spread the words about parrots. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, weekend, wherever you may be. Thank you.
Today I'm going to try to address a big question. How do I get my bird to eat pellets? A lot of you guys think this every day because most of the birds that are rescues come from homes where people didn't care as much about the nutrition. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going to say it. They mostly were just fed a seed diet, seed-based. Maybe given some apple, maybe a carrot or something, but nothing too extensive like there should be. So I have come up with a few ways, not too many, but a few different ways that you may try at your house to get your birds to eat pellets. And I'll be filming a different kind of ways that I have tried. And Olivia here, she's a baby, so I'm lucky, and I started her with pellets immediately. But she was eating only these like very sweet, they're called Pretty Bird, which are good. I mean, they're good. I just like the ones without color in it. So I'm trying to change her over to the Supreme Natural. So she hasn't really, whoa, there was a poop bomb, so blooper. Thanks, Olivia. So she was eating her pellets apparently. Oh, wowie. Okay, so I am trying to now change her over to eating the more natural pellets. So what I have been doing is giving her still the ones that she likes and prefers. For some reason she likes red a lot, and mixing them with the ones that I want her to eat, and just slowly remove more and more of the ones that I don't want her to eat as much. She can have some, but as much, and keep adding the other ones, and she's starting to like them. I'm gonna go ahead and show you all the different ways that you can try to get your bird to eat pellets. Pellets are better for your birds than just a seed-based diet because it's not as high in fat and it has all the added nutrients, calcium, and nutrition that your bird needs. Especially if your bird doesn't like to eat vegetables. I know. So this crazy parrot mom is gonna get filming. Thanks, guys. So if you like this video, as always, please subscribe, please like, please share. Milo. And as always, have a good day, good night, good morning, great weekend, wherever you may be. Thank you. Okay, so many of you guys ask yourself, how do I get my bird to eat pellets? It's not an easy task. It's really trial and error and patience, and try and try and try and offer it again, offer it again. So don't just offer it one time. Make sure you offer it like every day. Even if it doesn't get eaten, you renew it. Don't leave it old because then it gets stale, because yes, these things get stale. So just give them new. So the first thing that I suggest, and that's what I did and it worked and is continuing to work, is that you offer a lot of different pellets. Okay, so this is basically what my bird's dish looks like. There are, I think, 12 different pellets in here. That's the first thing I would try. Do not ever just feed your bird one kind, just one kind. Because if they don't like it, they will literally starve to death. They will not eat it. If they don't know, they might not know it's food, or they don't like it and they're not going to eat it. So you cannot do that. So if you see that your bird is not eating this, you have to give variety. You have to see which ones they actually do like. Even if this is what you want them to eat and they don't like it, you still got to give them the old kind and then slowly introduce the one that you want. So So that's one way. So for example, I have this set up right here. Let's say I want him to eat the yellow one. In this case, that's a pretty bird, natural. So I would mix it with the kind that they ate before. So then accidentally they will grab one and eat it and go, ooh, I kind of like this too. So you start mixing it, and then you start having more and more, and then eventually the old pellets kind of go away, and the ones that you want them to eat are going to be the major pellets that they're going to eat. But I would still not suggest for them to only eat one kind. I would always suggest have a nice variety, lots of different ones, maybe not 12, but maybe 3 different kinds of pellets, because all the pellets have different nutrients, different vitamins, different things in there that are good for birds. Some of them have grain, some of them have herbs and grasses, and so yeah, I would just do that. The next way that you can also try different pellets, if your bird doesn't like the big ones, there are different sizes of each pellets. For example, here's a picture. This one, this is my favorite, this is Supreme Natural, comes in teeny tiny, medium, large. So try the different sizes, because sometimes people, just like humans, we have a mouth feel, and we don't like how it feels in them, and so they don't like it how it feels in their beak. So that's one thing you can try, different sizes. You can add, for example, okay, so now if your bird is maybe a little particular about the pellets being too dry, maybe, or you can try it at least, add some warm water and let them sit for a second, for a little bit, okay, well, like 5 minutes. And then what I do, I drain the water back out, okay, and then what you have is like soft pellets. Right now they're not, because it's not been 5 minutes, but they're like, the outside is a little bit soft, and oh yeah, here it goes already, see, and they start breaking up easily. So some birds like that better. So that's another way you can try. So add a little bit of warm water, let it sit for a minute, maybe not 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then drain it back out, because you don't want to leave the whole, because then you just have one big giant mush. Okay, but most birds will eat it immediately, so you never know. The thing you can do with this moistened variety is you can add a tiny bit of cinnamon. Birds like cinnamon, and see if maybe that's something they would go for. So which means you could add spices, but make sure you look them up first to make sure that they're safe. I know that cinnamon is safe, and you should always try to get organic. Another way you can do it is you add some pellets, and then you use a little bit of, and again, this is to each bird different, so organic, non-sweet, unsweetened applesauce, okay? So there's a lot of birds that just love applesauce. So that's another way to see if your bird will eat pellets. Mine like this too, okay? So you would just use the pellets and put the applesauce right on top and let it sit and give it to them. So that's another way that you can do. Another way you can ground the, okay, this is gonna be loud, so you can ground the pellets. Try to see if you can get it nice and fine. There's some coarse bits in here now because I don't want to like do this forever. So one thing you can do with the ground, there's some coarse bits in here, but it really should be nice and fine, like the back part right here. Okay. So one thing I used to do in the beginning, because one of my birds, that's my bird that has recently passed a year ago, but that's how I got her to eat pellets. I used her seeds that she was given by the previous owner, and she just refused to eat any pellets. But what I would do is I used the pellet powder, okay, and I would mix it in with the seed like this, and then as you can see, by osmosis, I don't know if I'm using this correctly, but when she picked up the seeds, there was a little bit of powder of the pellet on it, And so she had to. She basically had to eat some of it. It just would end up in her mouth. Okay, so that's why I would make sure it was real fine. And that way she would have to root through it too, root and find it. And like I said, by osmosis, she would eat some of the pellets. And then I would keep introducing more pellets, and then she ended up liking it. You can also use this powdered pellet now. Okay, make it much finer, obviously. And use it as a base for making waffles, for example. I would use the pellet powder with a tiny bit of milk, and egg, and a tiny bit of honey, and a tiny bit of baking soda. Okay, just a tiny bit, and make these small waffles. And birds love anything baked. So use this kind of like instead of flour. And then again, they would eat it. They would think it's flour, and they would eat their pellets that way. And I have made this. I might make this real quick at the end of this video. So we'll see. Another thing you can do to have your bird eat pellets is simply take the pellet and eat it in front of the bird. Literally, there's nothing in it that's harmful for humans, obviously. So you would they actually taste kind of good. So you would kind of nibble on it and kind of offer it, and then they don't want it, you eat it again. All of a sudden they get interested and they go, what is she eating? Oh, I might like this. And you kind of nibble on it, offer it. They, no, we can't have it. No, that's mine. That's all mine. Can't have it. And you'll see all of a sudden your bird's like, wait a minute, I want some of that. It works, believe me, it works. See, look at that, I'm going for more. Tastes good. So, I think that's most of the ways that I tried giving my birds pellets. So that was like, what, 8 or 9 different kinds of ways that you can try to give your birds pellets. Really no excuse anymore for you guys to say that my bird won't eat the pellets, because literally there's a lot of ways for you guys to introduce the pellets. Never ever just put down the pellets though and remove the seeds because you want your bird to eat the pellets, because like I said, they will not eat it and they will starve. First of all, they might not know what it is, and if they don't like it, they won't eat it. So you have to slowly introduce it. You have to take the seeds, and you have to just mix it in, like I said, either in powder form or in coarse form or in normal form. But it's one way they will eat it. They will start eating it after a while. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I always try my best because I want your birdies to be healthy and happy. Okay, like I promised, I will add showing you how to make those waffles. So I put a tiny bit of cinnamon, 2 eggs, tiny bit of baking soda, and some honey, and a tiny bit of milk. I know birds are lactose intolerant. That's why I put a very little amount. They can have it as a taste. It's not bad for them. They're just like humans, they get the runs. Okay, but you don't want to overdo it. So now I made it much finer. You see how this is kind of flour-like? So you're going to put this in here, okay, and mix it up. Mix it. Okay, so I forgot to say I add a little bit of flour too, just to give it firmness, because you want it quite firm. And don't forget the oil, a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick. So when your waffle looks maybe about like this, you take it out. Cut this and just give it to your bird once it cools off. Give it to your bird just like this. And if this is too big, then make it smaller. Also, what I do with the leftover, I will put it in a Ziploc and just put it either in the refrigerator or in the freezer for later use. All right, now that this is cooled off a little bit, it's still warm. I will see if my birds will cooperate. There you go. Oops, Olivia. There you go. My angel. You eat your waffle? like I said, just by eating the waffle, he'll be eating the pellets. He likes it. Is that good? Is that good? Yeah, it's good. And Olivia likes it too. Yum, yum, yum. Good stuff? Yeah. And Milo's still eating his.